Well, I want to start out by saying that the reason I have my pins back on today, very, very historic day for our country and for the state of Israel. President Trump meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu in the first meeting of President Trump for a foreign leader, and they laid some real groundwork for some potential peace and prosperity in the region. Some straight talk, and hopefully it can lead to a better life for everybody that's living there. And so in addition, we obviously had 125 Jewish students from New York, New Jersey, and Florida that came in for a few days of some cultural experience and looking at Auburn, and so I wore this last year every game because I just wanted to bring awareness to kind of what was going on right now. And obviously, we still have hostages that are being held. We still have Americans that are being held in Gaza, and so I want to pray for them and bring some attention to that. But today was a great, great day for peace in the Middle East. Denver was terrific. Like, Denver didn't miss a shot. Played 4 assists, 1 turnover. Just did such a great job. We had an advantage on the inside. I thought we obviously took a pretty good advantage of that. The big key is Oklahoma's one of the better fast-breaking teams in the country. They only had 3 fast-break points. So we did a great job of hurting them in the offensive glass and not getting ourselves beat too badly at all in transition. So I was really, really, really pleased with our effort and the fact that once again we continue to take every opponent seriously.
Berg?
No, Bruce, this is the lowest. I'm sorry. It's the lowest by far field goal percentage for Oklahoma this season, and they were coming off that really, really good game against Vandy. Just what was the key to slowing them down, and especially preventing those guys from driving to the basket, like we talked about yesterday?
Well, I thought that obviously we've got great size at the rim, and I thought, my goodness gracious, Chaney and Dylan had some just monster verticality plays, and it was Oklahoma's guards were able to get by like they do, not quite as easily, but they were able to get by a little bit, and then the reward is you got Dylan or Chaney at the rim, or Janai at the rim. Janai had a bunch of blocks there at the end of the first half also. So the fact that we were able to block 11 shots, and Janai had 3 and Dylan had 6 and Chaney had 1, but he had a lot of verticality play. So I thought that was the key to us being able to hold them down.
Mike and then Lindsay.
Coach, just sticking with the theme of blocks, Auburn came into the game leading the nation in blocks per game. You had 11 to 9. Can you talk about how you've been able to improve this team defensively while maintaining the scoring average in the 80s?
One of the things that this Oklahoma's a big ball screen team, and you really need to have vision. You need to see the ball. I know it's simple. You just got to see the ball. You got to jump to the ball. You got to be up the lines. And so when they had ball screens, we would shrink the floor. And so our shot blockers were seeing the ball, and that allowed them to be able to make good decisions to get over, rotate, and sink and fill. And Oklahoma's obviously an outstanding 3-point shooting team, and holding them to 7 for 23 was a big. They're averaging about 8.5 a game, and we did a great job. Our guard, we got some big long guards, and that goes a long way to our length was a factor tonight.
Lindsay, Ferg, and then Peter.
Hey, Coach, another big win tonight, 14-game win streak. Have we seen the best of this team yet, or do you still have more to give?
Oh, we first of all, we have to get better. Like, if we don't get better, by the way, we're going to get beat. I mean, it's coming up. We're going to lose a game or lose games. But our focus is to get better. So I thought, like, for example, I thought our transition defense was better. I thought for the most part we shot it better. And every game's going to be different. Some teams are going to bother other teams differently. I can tell you Florida comes in on Saturday, and they are the most physical team in our league. Todd Golden was my assistant. He played point guard for me in 2009 on the USA Maccabi team. And, I'm not sure he has to shave but once a week. But that is what his teams play: hard, tough, and physical. And so that's going to be the next. That's going to be the next challenge.
Ferg and then Peter, raise your hand, please.
Simo didn't miss a shot either. 6 points, season high for him. Played a lot of minutes. Just what he provided to y'all. I know him playing a couple spots at the 3 and the 4.
Well, I think at halftime he was plus 10, and we finished plus 10. So, Chris, he brings a toughness. He brings experience. With Chris offensively, less is more. He's not trying to shoot the ball unless he's open, but he's going to go climb on those offensive boards. He's going to get back defensively, and he's just the kind of guy that everybody roots for. We've got some 5-year guys. Like again, we're still doing it the old-fashioned way. Guys that have been there in school graduate. We have 43 kids that have graduated. Almost half that team has graduated. And we got a couple seniors that are going to graduate this spring. And guys have been in the program. Dylan, 5 years. Chris, 5 years. And we haven't had a ton of guys transfer. So we're still doing it the old-fashioned way.
What does it say about the offense to score 54 points in the second half when Janai only has 2 points and I don't think had that time to the field in the second half either? There's just so much. There was so much contact in there, and so you got to decide what's a high percentage shot, what's not a high percentage shot. And so open shots are higher percentage shots than sometimes inside, physically contested shots. And so he was just sort of taking a beating in there, and with his ankle, we got him out with about 5 or 6 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes left to go in the game. He typically would have stayed out a little longer, but I just didn't want him to get hurt.
Nathan, Cam, and then Ferg and Jack.
First, what was your message in some of those timeouts later in the game when it was kind of getting chippy on both sides?
Just represent the name on the front of the jersey and the name on the back of the jersey. Play how we play.
Coach Moser called your team a complete team. Would you agree with that sentiment?
We talked before the game, and Porter's been doing it a long time, and he's got a great offensive mind, and his teams always play really hard. He told me before the game he thought that we're really good on both ends. That the fact that we're good on both ends, that our offensive efficiency numbers are what they are. We got inside, outside, and the fact that we'll guard. Those two things together, I think, are why we are, the number one team in the country right now.
All right, last two, Ferg and then Jack.
For his second game in a row, that y'all had 5 guys in double figures and broke 90. I mean, just the balance of this team, the chemistry on offense, just how much was that kind of on display tonight again?
I mean, it was, but listen, Oklahoma is an outstanding offensive team. They really are. Those numbers bear out. They're not an elite defensive team. They just don't have enough size. And so I wouldn't make too much about what we did offensively, other than the fact that I thought we shared it, and but the fact that we held them under, that to me, that would be the story of the fact that we made a really good offensive team, and with the exception of maybe foul. I mean, they made 27. They made 18 baskets. Pretty good defense.
Coach, coming off of this game right here, what things do you need to fix as you get ready to head into a tough matchup with Florida on Saturday?
Well, we'll look at the beautiful thing about, I think what we do, or the game. The beautiful thing about the game is that it's not one size fits all. Like, Florida is a completely different team than Oklahoma, and so we're going to do some things differently, and we'll figure out what we need to do in our package against what they do, and again, it's all about matchups. So,
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Bruce.
all right, thank you.